First, thank to organized committee and the audience to join this global AI Pune. So this is my simple profile. My name is Vinod. I'm working as a software developer and I'm Microsoft AI MVP. In the right hand side, you can see my social media handler. If you want to connect me with me related to bot related questions, you can post your question any one of these social media channel. And you want to learn more about Microsoft Bot Framework and Bot Framework Composer, I have uploaded a lot of videos in the concept wise in my YouTube channel. If you like it, you can watch it in my YouTube channel. And we'll move on to our session. So today session is focus on two main areas. One for a bot composer, what is composer and what is the IDE, what is the advantage of this composer. We will see in this first session. The second section talk about extend the bot. Okay, I created my bot using Composer, but I want to extend my bot, but the bot Composer is not supported this functionality, how to extend it. So these two we are going to see in this session. I hope end of this section you love bot Composer. So before starting bot Composer, first we'll understand what is bot framework. So bot framework is a chatbot application. It's in the front point of view. Okay, actually what going on behind the scenes. So bot framework is a service. This service created by the rules. Okay, whether the rules is dynamically or statically given by the user, bot will understand these rules. Once bot understand these rules, it will execute the workflow. Okay, this rule is matching for my pattern, so I want to execute this rule. This is a bot. In one moment. Okay, so we'll jump into the IDE. So this picture you can see, this is IDE for Bot Composer. Bot Composer Visual IDE for building conversational experience. Okay, why is for IDE for building conversational experience? Means if you are developing the bot using the Bot Framework SDK, you cannot visualize the dialogue flow, how the workflow is going on. All are just in the code format. But in the visual IDE, you can, graphically, visually, you can feel, okay, my workflow going like this. That's what the bot composer bring major features. Oh, sorry. And this IDE for open source and the cross platform. Even if you are a Windows developer or Mac developer or Linux developer, you can use this IDE in your operating system. And there are two versions of available IDE, one for desktop based and another one for web based IDE. There is no difference. Web and desktop both are used for creating the bot application, and both given the same output. You cannot feel the difference these two applications. And bot is a declarative programming language. Sorry, bot framework composer, declarative programming language. So the declarative programming language, you can just give the relation between your input and output. That's it. The entire, behind the scenes, everything taken care by the runtime. So you no need to worry about what is declarative programming, how I can write the code or something like that. It's not required. In composer point of view, you can just define your workflow. That's it. So all the things taken care by the framework. So we step into the little bit more in detail about the composer. Here you can see the composer building blocks. There are 6 building blocks. This is a high level building blocks from Louis, start with Louis and end with the package. We will see one by one in this video, in this tutorial. So bot framework composer sit on the bot framework SDK. So under the hood, it's a framework only, SDK framework only. You can just in the high level, you can just drag and drop your controls. Once you start, compiling the application, it's passed to the bot framework SDK and it will give the output. And as I mentioned earlier, composer is a declarative programming language. I will show the code also in a couple of minutes. And Composer provides a one-stop shop experience. So what is mean by one-stop shop experience? Here we can see for example, here I highlighted the LUIS. Okay, if you want to use LUIS in previous section, I think they showed this one. You have to go to the LUIS portal. You have to create it. You have to test it. But in Composer, you no need to go to the LUIS portal. So instead of LUIS portal, you can use the LUIS inside Composer only. So once you start the application, your subscription key and everything is valid. Composer automatically taken care. This LUIS publish. So once you define the LUIS, Composer automatically publish to the LUIS portal. Like that, there are one by one. We will see what is the one-stop shop experience in the Composer. So the first part is we are going to talk about Recognizer. Okay, in each software or each application, input is important one. So somehow user has to communicate to your software or languages. So based on the input, your logic or your workflow will execute. In Bot Composer or Bot, Recognizer take care of this job. So you can use a Recognizer. There are different type of Recognizer is available. For example, Q&A maker, or you can use a custom, or you can use a regex pattern in the Recognizer. Here I'm going to highlight the LUIS. So I'm going to use the LUIS as a Recognizer in this demo. LUIS is already there. A lot of section they explain about this LUIS, but I just give the highlight of the LUIS. LUIS is a cloud-based API service and offer a natural way of the conversation. The main objective or focus of LUIS is to try to find what user trying to say or what user trying to refer. This is a LUIS. The end of the day, this is a LUIS. Okay. So for example, here you can see the Atran. I'm telling to LUIS, turn on the kitchen light. Example. So in this one, LUIS will understand, okay, what user trying to say. So they want to say, turn on the light. They want to turn on the light. Okay, I'm ready to turn on the light. Which light I should take, turn on, whether this is kitchen or room light, what is that? So here the user referring, the entity is a kitchen. So this is LUIS will find you. Once you submit your statement, LUIS will find what is the intent and what is a kitchen. Sorry, entity. Okay, now we'll move on to the Composer. First, we will develop the LUIS. First step. Second step, we'll go to the dialog. The third step, we'll go one by one. Okay, instead of complete theory, instead of going like this way, we'll go topic-wise demo. Okay, I'll move on to the Composer. I'm just going to create my LUIS model. This is my Composer. I have already created the project called Global AI Demo. And I will explain one by one what is Composer and what is each functionality one by one we will see. The first thing is you can see the Composer settings. This is a Composer related settings, not the project settings. Okay, so if you want to enable a font, you want to change the font type, or you want to join the preview of Composer, all the options available here. I'm not going in detail about these settings. I just skip it and go to the main application home. If you want to create the project in Composer, you can use this option, create new. And at the moment, there are two templates is available. One for C# and another one for the Node preview. If you are using the Bot Framework SDK, there are other two languages supporting, one for Python and another one for Java. But at the moment, Composer is not supporting these two languages. Node is still preview mode. C# you can use it in production also. Okay. So these are the template. Different type of template is available. Based on your requirement, you can choose this template. So the main basics code has been written, this template. Once you, for example, here I created the global AI demo. For this, I have used this empty bot. Click next. You enter your project name. And the next one, you have to choose your runtime type. Okay, what type of runtime I'm going to use? I want to use Azure Web App or Azure Functions. You can select it. but I skip this one because my motto is focus on composer type. It's not the Azure function, Azure Web App, so I leave it at this moment. So once you enter the project name and you can click this create, automatically the project get created. Go back, if once project created, you can go to this create menu. Here you can see our project. So as I mentioned earlier, I created already the global AI demo. So this is my project. This first one, this area, global AI bot demo is a bot. Inside bot, you can see one more same name, global AI demo. This is a main dialog. If you click this one, this is my workflow area. So here I'm going to define my workflow. I just make a little bit like this. Close this one also, so it's more visible. Okay. So once you select the particular dialog, in this dialog, you have to enable the option, what type of input you are going to handle, whether this is a LUIS or maybe a regex pattern. So you have to enable. For this enable option, the right side you can see language understanding. Here this option is available. For example, if you want to select default with come with the LUIS. If you want to change it for development time, you can use this change option, change your input type. For example, if you selected the regular expression, so LUIS, it won't work. You have to just give your regular expression statement. So in the development, you can use this option, but in production, I highly recommended use the LUIS model so that your bot give the more natural way of the communication with the user. So I selected this option, default LUIS model. Done. So once this is done, you have to provide your subscription key and region, Azure region. For that, you have to go to this configuration menu. This is project related menus. Okay. So if you click this configuration, and there are different session is available, overview and connections, skill related, localization, development resource. Here we have to configure our LUIS model. So select the development resource. This is in the top level Azure language understanding. This is the LUIS area. And the QA maker related, you have to configure here. And you want to provide your app ID and app password, you have to use this option. So the first thing is we are going to configure the LUIS. So I'm going to set up language understanding. Okay. So I have already logged in the Azure portal. That's the reason the login pop-up, it's not coming. If you are newly, set up your language understanding, automatically the login, it will come. You have to log in with your Azure credential. So once you log in success, you have to select your resources. Okay. So you want to create the new resource, you have to use this second option, or you don't have access rights, you want to talk to your admin. So for that, you can select this admin permission menu. I have already created the resource. So I'm using my use existing resource. So I selected this one, click next. And you have to select your subscription. If you have different type of subscription, you have to select it, which subscription you want. I have only one subscription. So I selected this Visual Studio Enterprise subscription and resource name. So I select a resource also I have already created. So I select this option, click next. Once you click next button, automatically the key and region is available, West Europe and the key. So done. So it's automatically updated. So our LUIS connection is ready. Go back to our main project. Here I'm going to add the my LUIS model. Okay. So I'm going to use this more option, add a new trigger. Here you have to select the option. Okay, what type of intent this one, or what type of recognizer this one. So if you are using Q&A, you can use this Q&A things, or you not handle the unknown intent. So for example, your bot is a home appliance bot, but user send some pizza related question to your bot. So this is unknown intent. You will not handle it. So those type of input you want to handle it, you have to select this unknown intent option. Okay. And the next one is a dialog events. This one we will talk about a little bit later. And the different things is available. I leave it at the moment. So my main focus is the intent recognizer. So I select this option. And what is the name of this trigger? So I'm using my name of trigger is turn on light. This is a LUIS area. The same thing, if you are developing from LUIS portal, you have to do the same thing. But instead of going to LUIS portal, I'm adding all the things within the composer. So I select this one. This is just for information. Delete it. First statement I'm adding, turn on, let's say, room light. And my second statement, maybe switch on hall light. Something like that, you can train your LUIS model. So if you want, you can add a more statement, but I stop with this two statement. The next one is I'm going to tell what is my entity. So that also has to define. For that, you have to go to first add entity and select machine learn entity. There are different type of entities available. One for pre-built entity. Let's say, for example, you want to find the age and date and time, email, everything. Different type of entity is there. So you no need to highlight. Okay, this line, this is a email or this is a age, something like that. You no need to define. So default pre-built entities, it will take care of all the things. If you want to define list of entities, okay, for example, here I'm using one by one, kitchen, hall, maybe room, or maybe master bedroom, something. If I put all the entities, so I can make it group. Okay, these are the list of entities like that. We can use this option, but I go with this machine learned entity, so it will find a single entity. I select this option. Next, my entity name is, I would say, place. Okay, I define my custom entity now. So place. So in each line, you have to highlight, okay, what is the place? For example, the first statement, you can see turn on room light. So I'm going to highlight room is my entity. So just double click, you can select what type of entity is this one. So place, that's it. The second statement, switch on the hall light. So hall is my entity here. So I can select hall, highlighted this one. That's it. So once you submitted, we can go to the next step. And one more thing highlighted, okay, what composer will give the productivity option. If you are doing the same thing in bot framework SDK, first thing is you have to define the entity in the LUIS portal. So you have to train and you have to test it. Once everything's done, you come back to your coding part. You have to write all the required code. So you want to find what is the top intent, and based on the intent, you going to execute the flow. Okay, here I just define my LUIS. Okay, these are my statement, these are my entity, and I'm just put my trigger. The trigger name is turn on light. That's it. All the coding part behind it, all taken care by the SDK. So I'm not worried about what is going behind the scenes. Okay, submit. So here you can see my trigger is ready. Turn on light, and I'm going to add one more trigger. Maybe this is called turn off light. Turn off light, and adding turn off, come on, turn off room light. Second statement, please switch off the hall light. That's it. So entity here I'm good. Sorry, entity I'm going to add place off, maybe here room and switch off hall. This is my place of entity. That's it. Okay, go back to the turn on light. Here you can see there are different options. Just we configure the trigger phases, and there is a condition. Okay, when this trigger to execute. So if you want to provide this option, you can define your condition 0 to 1. Okay. For example, if the trigger is matching, if the intent is matching, more than 80% execute this trigger. Otherwise, just leave it. So those type of condition you can define it here. Okay. If you start writing expression and select like this hash and turn on light dot score greater than 80% means 0.8. That's it. If the intent is matching, if user given this statement turn on light, if the intent is matching more than 80%, then this trigger will execute. Otherwise, it won't execute. Okay, I just leave it at the moment. I delete this statement. Okay, the LUIS is ready. So input is ready. We go back to our slide. The first thing is ready. Okay, now we go back to the second slide. One moment, sorry, my mouse is not working properly. Okay, so the input is ready. Now we are going to talk about the workflow. Okay, I receive the input, what I should do. So that workflow you have to define. In the Composer, the workflow defined using this dialog concept. Okay, dialog is used to define the conversation between the bot and user. Okay. So once dialog receive input from the user, process it and send back to the bot. Bot will take care of the response. Okay. So the dialog will come to the picture. In Composer, dialog is called as adaptive dialog. In bot framework, we are using a different bot framework SDK. If you are using CodePart, there are different type of dialog is available. Waterfall dialog, component dialog, something like this. But in Composer or adaptive dialog, the main objective of this adaptive dialog is a dynamically adjust the conversation based on the context. Means, for example, as I mentioned earlier, you develop the home appliance bot. So you ask your bot, okay, turn on the light. Same time, it's in the process. Your bot in the process state. Now you are sending the second message. Hey, what is the temperature in my room? So the context is different. So first context, you are telling to your bot, turn on the light. The second context, you are asking temperature. So the both are the different context. In the adaptive dialog, it will default understand the user context. Okay, first they are asking turn on the light. The second they are asking the temperature. So this automatically adapt this context and response to the user. That is the beauty of this adaptive dialog. So highly recommended if you are using, you are creating a bot. So try to use adaptive dialog. You can get, more, natural way of the bot conversation. Okay, otherwise you have to write it all the things. So the first step, we define the LUIS. Now we are going to handle the workflow. If I receive the turn on light, what I should do? Like that. So go back to our application. So the turn on light. So I'm going to define my workflow. For that, I'm going to create the dialog. As I mentioned, this is a main dialog. Now I'm going to create the child dialog. To create the dialog, first select this bot, the top one, select it, and go to this more option, select add a dialog. Here my dialog name, turn on dialog. If you want to provide the description, you can add it. Let's say this dialog handle switch on the lights. Switch on the lights. Okay. Click OK. The dialog is created. So go to this trigger, turn on light, select the trigger. If the trigger is invoked, we are going to define the workflow. Okay. So for that, first go to this this symbol node, click node. Here you can see the menu. There are different type of menus available. We try to see one by one. For invoke the dialog, so invoke, I would say invoke the workflow. we have to invoke this turn on the dialog. For that, go to the dialog management and select the begin a new dialog. So select this option. The right side you can see dialog name, property, and there are different type of other properties there, activity, process, and option, and everything. But I'm going to highlight only this dialog name. Okay, this trigger is invoked. What I should do? You just invoke this dialog. So at the moment we created only one dialog. So I select this turn on dialog. This trigger is executed. The trigger automatically invoke this dialog, begin a new dialog. That is a turn on dialog. This one. Okay. So next one, what I'm going to do, back to our trigger application, I'm going to pass the entity name. So this is first thing is clear. Turn on the light. This is fine. So for the first step is done. The second step, entity, what I should turn on. So that information this dialog should know. No. So for that, I need to pass this place name to this dialog. For that, I first read the place name, entity name. For that, go to this one, add, set a property. So go to the manage property, set a property. You have to define the property. Here I would say conversation dot place. If you want to read from entity, you can just assign it, write an expression at your entity name. Entity name we define as a place. So I use like this, place. That's it. Conversation place, we are storing the entity name. Go to the dialog, begin a dialog. You can check the condition. Okay, if I receive the input, it's a maybe hall or room or kitchen. Based on that, go to the particular block. So define it, the condition, check the condition. You can go to the option, create a condition. Here you can see there are two type of condition is available. One for if else and another one for switch condition. If you want to check only one condition, you can use if else. If you want to define multiple condition, use the switch statement. So it's the best way using the switch statement to check the multiple conditions so that workflow you can easily understand. Okay. Switch statement. Here I'm checking the condition, write an expression. Here you can see the two options. One for this property. This is a reference property. Once you added the property anywhere in the bot, it's automatically taken care by the composer. So you can just go to where and all you need this property, just go to there and select this tab, this one, property menu, and select the where your property is available, whether this is available in the conversation or dialog, something like that. At the moment, I place the property in the conversation. So I select this conversation place. Okay. If the conversation cases, if it is hall, if it is room, here you noticed you can easily visualize your workflow. Okay, the condition is conversation place is hall, then the case hall case will execute. If it is a room, the room case will execute. If not handle, maybe if you not handle, they are just telling turn on the light. Maybe they're telling upstairs something like that. They're given some unknown information. Your intent understand that, okay, the turn on light is there, but it's not able to understand. Entity also present, but your bot not able to understand this one. So that case is come with the default case. So in the default case, what action you want to take, that you can define it in the default case. So our workflow also is ready. Like that, if you want to add turn off the light, you can create one more dialog. Go to here, as I mentioned, go to here, add a new dialog for turn off related workflow. So go back to our slide. Our workflow also we define it. Okay. The next one we are going to talk about LG. One moment. So we receive the input from the user and we process it also in the dialog. The third step is LG. LG is the reverse of the Lewis. Lewis user talk to the bot. LG bot talk to the user. Okay, that is LG. LG is It's called as language generation. And the more advantage of using the language understand, LG provide the dynamic way response to the user. It's not a single hard-coded value. Okay, so user they won't receive always the same message. They are receiving a different type of messages using the LG. I will show that also in the couple of minutes. The final one is a conditional response. If you want to check the conditions, let's say, for example, if kitchen, there are a different set of reply I needed. If it is a room, I want a different type of setup response is needed. Those type of condition you can define in the LG also. And one more advantage of using LG, you can generate the card also. For example, bot framework support different type of cards. For adaptive card, hero card, thumbnail card, there are different kind of card is available. If you want to use the card type of response also, you can just put into the LG. That also I will show in a couple of minutes. So the third step, now we are going to send the response to the user. Go back to the application. I'm going to define my response. Go to Hall. I send the response to the user. Send a response. You have to use this option to send the response. This we'll talk about a little bit later. And the top one, here you can see text, or you want to send the speech type of related output, or you want to send the attachment. Attachment only is you can add the cards. So add a new attachment, create from template. So adaptive card, hero card, there are different type of card is available. You can use this option if you want to implement the card. Okay, I go to the text input instead of card. Go here. Here you can add a text. So for example, I would say send the response. Okay, I will do it. First response and another response. Sure, I can. Maybe the third response. Like, okay, I will. Sorry. Okay, I will do it. I will give one. Okay. Like I will process it. Something like that. For example, room also you can go and define it. Instead of every time go and add it, you can easily copy the same to here also. I just select this one, go to edit, copy, and paste it. So this also product improvement. You no need to write it. Maybe if you want to add another lines, okay, I'll do it. Room light on. Let it be, or I can just delete it. This is not needed. Okay. So the input the workflow response is ready. Now we are going to test our application. To test the application, here you can see the option start bot. Just click this button. Now, as I mentioned, a declarative programming language concept. Here it's come to the picture. So we define our input and the workflow output. That's it. If you start this one in the behind, bot SDK come to the picture. It start executing your application. So it's build everything, checking the condition, everything fine. Then it will start. Sometimes your firewall get blocked, so you have to give the access to the option. And to test this application, there are two kind of application emulator is available. One is open web chat, and another one is a testing emulator. So the testing emulator, you have to go to the third another application. So you should switch over from this application to another application. If you are using the open web chat, you can test your application within a composer. That's what I mentioned earlier, one-stop shop experience. So all you have to do within a composer. I go with this open web chat. So I select this option. So once you connected, automatically this message is coming. welcome to your bot. This message it's handled in the greeting tag. If you go to the greeting tag, here they are checking the conversation update activity. From there, they are checking the condition. Okay, the new member added in this conversation. Yes, if they added, again it will check. Okay, I already have this member ID information or not. If it is not, then you send the message to the user. Welcome to your bot. In general, instead of sending this welcome to your bot, you can just give the meaningful name so that once user connected to your bot, they can understand, okay, what type of bot it is. It's a home-based, home appliance bot. If you want, we can change this text. You just click this one. Here you can change it, or you want to add alternative text also. Here you can add it. So at the moment I leave it. I go with my main concept. So the turn on light. I'm going to send a message like, please switch on the light. Switch on the hall light. We'll see. Look like some issue. Mention, maybe we'll just make sure we send another response, whether we got the trigger or not. Just make okay. So of that, I had to do one more thing. Okay, we'll check it, then we'll come back. Switch on the hall light. Yeah, it's executed properly. So the Luis understand our intent, but the problem here is, I think this conversation flow, the conversation place, it's not updated properly. We see that also. One moment, just print this one. I don't want to this statement, so I delete it. Select this one. You just print it. Conversation place. Okay, and restart the bot. Open web chat. Restart the conversation. Switch on the hall light. It's coming properly. So Louis is able to read entity also. Hall is fine. Then it's a problem is clear. It's somewhere the dialog. It's correct only. Have to remove this one. We'll check quickly. Open in web chat. Restart the conversation. Switch on the hall. I think it's a problem here somewhere. This condition only. So I just switch off this condition. I don't in detail. I just copy this statement only quickly. Copy and I place it here. So go back to turn on light. This is not needed. I disable this one. So this workflow, it won't execute it. If you want to check this type of things, you no need to remove it. Instead of that, you can just disable it. So that automatically this code, it won't execute it. Okay, restart the bot. Go to the hall here. open in web chat, restart the conversation. Switch on the all light. See, you can see the message. Okay, I will do it. If I send the same time next message, sorry. Now I'm given the same statement, like please on the hall light. This time you can see, sure I can. So this is a dynamic way of the response. This we define in the LG language understanding. Okay. So where this information is available, let's say here you can see we given the three statement, no? Okay, I'll do it, sure I can, okay, process. This all the information stored into the here bot response. If you click this bot response, the dialog wise information is available. For example, turn on the dialog. If you click global AI demo, this is a top level dialog. This is a child dialog. Turn on the dialog. Here you can see our information. I just switch to the show code option so that we can easily understand more readable format. For example, this is my template name. It's a dynamically created. If you want to, meaningful name, you can just instead of define your response, go back to the application. Instead of typing here, you can directly come to bot response. You can enter your template name and the statement also you can give it. You can given it based on the template. So once you define the template, if you want to use this template, let's say here I would add my template name, bot or turn on response like this. This is my template name I defined. I just copy paste the same thing. Okay, so I define it here. Go back to the application. If you want to use this template, select this begin dialog and go to this. I will delete. Or maybe I will add one more thing. So that, yeah, here you see the insert a template reference. Instead of typing, you can just refer your template. I given my template name is turn on response. So if you select this template, that's it. So if I run the application, instead of this is not needed, just disable. Instead of using this one, is always refer my template. This template defined in the bot response in this area. So it will start execute. Related to Louis, here the Louis we enter the information. No, turn on the light. These are the trigger phase and everything. This statement is available in the user input. If you go to the user input, here also the same concept. Dialog wise, the Louis gets stored. So for example, our main dialog global AI demo, we define two intent, one for turn on light, another one is for turn off the light and the phrases. The same option is available, show code. We can see the complete code here also. And you can add the Louis in the child dialog also. Okay, it's not necessary you have to define all the intent in the top level. Still, you can define your intent in the child level also. For example, here I mentioned the turn on light based this trigger will invoke. Okay, suppose if user not enter the entity, they are not refer the entity. They're just simply saying turn on the light. That's it. If in here in this turn on light dialog, you can check it. Okay, I turn on, the intent is fired perfectly, but the entity is missing. Here you check the condition and as a user turn on the light. Okay, sorry, as a user send the entity, or you can take the next step. For example, let's say the turn on the light, or in here also still it's in the processing for turn on the light. From here also you can handle turn off the light. Okay, first statement I given turn on the light. The second statement immediately given bot is processing, immediately given the turn off the light also. From here also you can add this turn off the light. Just example I given, not the correct workflow. I just given the child dialog should child dialog also should handle the intent. So here also you can add turn off the light, something like this. You can enter the information. Okay. Actually, I missed out the point entity. Actually, it's a different concept. Actually, what I mentioned previously mentioned, the turn on the light, you missed out the entity. Okay, so the user not given the entity. So you want to ask the user to turn on entity. Select this, turn on the light, turn on the light dialog, and begin dialog. Here you can check the condition and go to the add and ask the question. There are different kind of input is available, maybe text input or number confirmation, something like this. There are different type of input is available. For example, in this case, if the entity is missing, you can use a text input. So here, as a user, okay, please, I'll do it. What should I do? I should turn on the kitchen light or room light, something like that. You can give them the statement, and you can store this value in this property. So once user enter it, you can store this property. Okay, so this is fine. Our response also is clear. Now we go back to the slide. So the main three area is done. Sorry. Input, workflow, and response also is done. The next one is a memory. Just go to the next slide. Come on. Memory. The memory, something we have to store it. No, we have to store and process the information. For example, as I mentioned, the entity we are storing into the conversation data location or place. We are storing the value. Like that, if you want to store this type of information, you can select the different type of option is available to store the value in the memory. But still, it's a temporary. Once you close it, entire thing is gone. Okay, so you want to store the permanent, you have to go to the database option. But still, sorry, here I'm focusing on only the temporary memory. There are different type of memories available. One for user scope and the conversation scope, dialog related, turn and settings. For example, user scope. In the user scope, you can store the user related information. For example, if you want to store the username and user mobile number, not password, email ID, something like that, you want to store it, you can choose this option, user scope. In the conversation scope, you can select the option, you can store the data like conversation related data. For example, date and time. Like in this example, I showed the entity. That also conversation type. So this type of information you can store in the conversation memory. The third one is a dialog. Dialog, go back to our application. If you store the value in the dialog, once the dialog ended, so here if you want to add the end dialog, you can use this option, add dialog management, end this dialog. Okay, once the dialog will execute and it will end finally. So if you store the value inside this dialog scope, so once start, your memory gets stored. Once the dialog is end, automatically the memory get cleared. So those type of value, if you want to handle it, you can store in the dialog scope. The next one is a turn scope. Turn scope is a conversation based scope. For example, as here I send the message, please switch on the hall light. If I send this message, this is a one turn. So once the turn is over, the memory is gone. Okay, how to store this value in that this one? It's mostly used in the middleware. Okay, suppose you want to handle it some information in the middleware. You want to pass this information to the bot. So in the middleware, you can store this value. Turn dot your property name value. That's it. So you can directly read it in the bot. Turn dot that property name. And the final one is the setting scope. Setting scope. Just go to the configuration. All this information stored in the setting scope, development resource and the connections, everything. If you enable this option, advanced settings view, this information, everything in the settings scope. If you want to define your settings, we can just Just mention your name key. Let's say, for example, custom key, and the value maybe something like this. If you want to read this value, you can use the option settings dot your key name, custom key. So you can get this value in the bot. Back to the slide. So next one is a publish. Okay, your bot is ready. Everything is fine. Now you want to connect to a outside user to a bot. So we have to publish. In general, publish, we have to go to the Azure portal and we have to configure all the things required field and everything. Then we publish it. Okay. Composer provide this option also within Composer you can publish it. Okay. So no need to go and do all the steps. Instead of that, you can just select your profile, publish automatically taken care by the Composer. So this option is available. Go to the application. Here you see the option publish. You can select this publish. Okay, your bot will display. At the moment, I added only one bot, so Global AI demo. So that's the reason only one bot is coming. If you want to add more bot in the same project, still you can go and add it. Just go to create. Here you can see add button, add a bot. Or you want to connect a skill also, you can use it. So if you add this bot also, the bot is added like this, the same format. Okay, here maybe I will add and show it. Add a bot, create a new bot, template name, select this one, like bot to create. Hope it will create fast. Merging, building. The merging I will tell about this one. A couple of minutes. The next session related to bot component. Orchestra, leave it. Continue. Okay. So if you go to publish, here you can see the bot. Okay, which bot you want to publish. It will display. For example, if you want to publish this bot, Global AI demo, you can select this bot and select the profile. At the moment, there is no profile is available. So you have to configure your profile. For that, you can go to this publish profile, or you can just select from here. So automatically the control go to the second tab, publish profile, and select this option, add new. From here, you have to enter your name of the bot, publish profile. So demo profile, I would say demo profile, and select target, publish bot to Azure. Next. Again, the same step. You want to create all the, what are the things needed, create a resource. We'll see it, how fast this one. You have to select your subscription and resource group, and where you want to publish in Windows or Linux. And if you are using the LUIS related, you have to enter those information, and you can go to the publish phase. I'm not going to publish, I just skip it. So publish also is done. Okay, next we are going to talk about package. This is a second section, as I mentioned. The first one is a bot framework composer overview, and this is a final thing, a bot component. Okay, in this one we are going to talk about how to extend our bot. So if you take any application or any languages, there should be an option to extend it. Okay, because all the tool or all the languages not 100% cover the user needs or developer needs. They have to give extended. For example, if you take desktop application, WPF or any other application, they give the option to extend it. You can use your own control, third-party control. Like that, you can extend your bot. Okay, the bot's not supporting some your requirement. So if you want to extend it, you can use this option, bot component. Go to the next slide. We'll talk about more here. This is a component information. This is a high level adaptive runtime. So if you want to extend your bot, it should use the adaptive runtime library. You can download. I will show you can download from the NuGet package manager. This one adaptive runtime, and the next one is a top level bot component. Okay, uh, if you are creating your component, it should derive from this bot component class. You have to add it. I'll show this also in detail about this one. There are different type of component you can extend it. For example, dialog or on activity uh, and the middleware bot adapter things. Okay. One moment. Sorry. The dialog is nothing. Here we show. One moment. I go to bot composer. Let's say select this begin dialog. This is a dialog. Actually, in the high level, this is a dialog. Turn on the dialog is a high level. But internally, if you see the code format, each and everything is in the dialog only, in Composer. Or here is just simply called as action actually. But internally, if you go and check it, this is a dialog only. If you want to add this type of dialog component for your requirement, you can use this dialog option. Okay, once you added this, automatically it will add it to this in this menu. We'll see in a couple of minutes. Activity here, we are creating the trigger now. Add a new trigger. So this is activity. If you want to add an activity related trigger, you can use this activity. For I go back to the slide, then easily understand. You have to use this on activity. Oh, what happened? My mouse. On activity. If you want to use a middleware, at the moment, not at the moment. Default Composer support the middleware also. If you define the middleware, you have to go to the settings. You can add it. But if you want to add the custom middleware, you have to use this option, middleware, and you can define the middleware in the component. Sorry, Composer. The third one is a bot adapter. If you want to write the custom adapter, for example, there are some custom adapter is available. For example, Alexa adapter is available. Google, the bot builder community is available. Like that, you want to write your own adapter to connect your application or a third-party application. So you have to use the bot adapter, write the code. And finally, the schema. Schema is very important in bot composer. Schema is playing major role to show this your component information in the composer. Okay, you created a component, everything fine, but you have to relate it no. So I just go to composer. Here you see this property, this dialog, send response. This is defined in the schema. So once your schema is fit to the composer, then automatically you can see this type of visual things for your application also. For that, schema is helpful. But the schema only for sorry, just go to back. So schema only for available for dialog on activity and bot adapter. Bot adapter. The middleware schema it won't come to the picture because middleware there is no UI related. No middleware. It's running the background operation. So schema is not available for this one. Something problem in my mouse. It's not fitting properly. Sorry guys. I just go back to the application and go to my next slide. So in this demo, I'm going to create one component using the dialog. These are the steps. As I mentioned earlier, you have to create a runtime package. This adaptive runtime, you have to add it, and you have to create the component class, the top level, this one. The third one is your component. So if you want to write your necessary logic, you should add it in this phase. The fourth one is a create a schema. So you have to create the schema also. And finally, you want to merge the schema into the project, or you want to create the package. The package we'll talk about a little bit later, this merging and the packaging. The next topic we will see this one. First, I'm going to create these steps, add a runtime package, create a component class, and write the necessary logic code. Okay, this only I'm going to do. For that, I'm going to go to Visual Studio. I have already created the project called custom demo. This project created by Composer. I will show in a couple of minutes. Okay. So once created, you can go to your drive, your location where your bot is available. Go to Visual Studio, open this project in Visual Studio. This is the same in the bot composer. I created in bot composer. I opened the project in the Visual Studio. That's it. So we are going to add the custom component. Okay, we are going to extend our bot. So go to this menu. Go to before that. You are doing all the steps. No, instead of doing all the steps, you can use the extension. So extension will take care all the basic stuff. Okay, if you go to here and just down, here we can see the option bot composer action. If you want to using this concept, you just first go to the Visual Studio extension and search this bot composer action, install it. Okay, and I have already installed, so I close it. Go to new, go to project, add new project, and you can select once the installation is done for this extension, you can select the bot composer. Here you can select, at the moment there is only two templates available, one for custom action for dialog related. If you want to implement custom middleware, you can use this option, custom middleware. Other things, soon I will create it and publish it. So I select this bot composer custom action, select this project. This project is again is under bot builder community version. Okay, so I select this bot custom composer action. Next, I enter the project name. This custom action, I'm going to convert a lowercase letter to uppercase. So if user pass the information to the bot, I read the text, I convert to the uppercase, just for simple logic. Okay, the main goal of this component to understand how to create the component. That's it, not the logic. You just leave it. Okay, so my component name is uppercase. My project name, component name, and next, what is the title? The title, it will show here. It will show here. So this one, end of this dialogue, something like that. This is the title things. So my title name, what happened? Title name uppercase, and the description of this one, convert letters to uppercase. Uppercase. Then create. Just go to highlight the main project, uppercase. Here you can see, first thing is adaptive runtime. So if you go to the package, the runtime NuGet package get installed, adaptive runtime. The next one is a bot component. So the bot component, it's derived, my class is derived from the bot component. My component name is uppercase bot component. Under the configuration section, this one. So add a singleton, declarative type, my class name and kind. Okay. So what will happen once you start the bot, you given the link from to your project, automatically our bot will register this component. That's what this bot component will do this job. Okay. And the main code, here you can go to the uppercase. This is my class name uppercase dialog. So as I mentioned, everything is dialog in Composer. Okay, so that's we derive from the dialog class. The main thing is begin dialog. So once your component get hit, okay, first it will call the begin dialog. So dialog should start now. the begin dialog, this it will get invoked. Here we should write the logic, and once your logic is done, you should call the end dialog, so that the flow, once your component is all the logics done, everything fine, then you have to call the end dialog so that your overflow move to the main bot. That's what we should call this end dialog. This should be important. The next one, you can see this string expression result property. It's a JSON property. I will show this one also in the UI. Okay, so no problem. I'll show immediately. If you click this one, maybe we go to just one of the number property. Here you see this property. This is a JSON property. So for our application, result is this one. Okay. So the property at the moment contain only this result set, and just constructor in the we are just pass our debug purpose. We are pass our source file name and line number, everything. Leave it. The main thing is this kind. Kind is important one, because this kind will help you your application bot and your component. Where should handshake? For that, kind is coming. This is different. This is just for hosting. Okay, once your bot understand the component, it will try to restart it. The kind is for UI purpose or related to handshake purpose. This kind it will come to picture. Okay, there are 3 areas the kind should match. If your component is not working, first you have to check this kind. First thing, first place, if you go to this component file, you have to refer your kind. So here we are passing the kind. This kind, of course, I'm using this directly from the class. If you are passing directly, then it might be a problem. So always you define your kind inside the class, okay, and pass it. So for this class, I'm passing the first place, the declarative file, the configuration service, I'm passing it. The second thing is I define the kind in the class. And third one is the kind is in the schema. You see the class name. The class name may be different, but kind should be matched. The kind uppercase should match with the schema. If you open the schema, this is a JSON file. Here you can define the property, what property we should display in the GUI. So if once you define it, it will display in the GUI. So we'll see quickly what I'm going to do. I'm going to add my logic. So I want to convert the lowercase to uppercase letter. No, the result is ready, default written by this template, but I should receive the data. Okay, for that I need define the input property. Input property I'm going to define called the input. I just already done it. I just copy paste that. So input is ready, input property. Next, we should read the input value. So for reading this one input value, you can just define your property input and get value. Just pass the state of the dialog. So it's automatically read the value. So next, if it is text result, text dot uppercase. Upper. Okay. So I store this value and I send back, and not send back, I just assign the result in the results property. It will get assigned. Finally, end dialog. So our component is ready. Now we are going to include this property into the component. Just go to the custom demo, our main project. Go to the dependency. First, go to add project reference and select this one, uppercase. This is my project name, done. Okay. Next one, the reference is ready. You have to mention your component name in the settings file, app.settings. Okay, this is a settings file. Go down, and here you see the component. This is my name of the. Here I have to mention my component name. To mention like this, my name of component. So name is uppercase. Okay, uppercase. Sorry. Make sure this should match your component name and the component which you mention in the apps or settings file should match. Otherwise, again, it won't work if it is not match. Okay, uppercase, done. So our ground level, everything is done. We have to display this information. No, as I mentioned here, we have to display our component here, and all the input and output data should display like this. For that, we have to merge our component. This is a step, the merge the schema into the project file. So we have to merge our component schema into composer schema. Again, it's not component, composer level of schema. It's a project bot schema, not composer schema. Don't confuse. This is a bot related schema. Okay. So I just close this one. Go back to, I open the composer again because this is a different project. Sorry. One moment, quickly I will open. Come on. Something happened. It's not fitting properly.
Vinod, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
can we cover up in next 5 minutes? Is that fine?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we have
almost
next speaker
done.
lined up. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One minute. Sorry for that delay. Yeah, the main focus. Yeah. So go to your project. I created a custom demo. In this project, just go to the schema folder. Sorry, 1 second. Where I mean, okay. So custom demo my project, and inside go to schema and run this command, update schema. So what will happen? Our main composer project, what are the components is plug into our my project, this bot project. So automatically the schema get added into the my main bot. Okay, so if you run the command, so it's find all the schema files and added. I open the composer quickly. So schema is done. It's opening. It's come on. So custom demo, open this project. Loading and go to any one of the trigger. I just delete this trigger, it's not needed. So I select this one. Here you can see our new schema is available, component is available, uppercase. And select, oh sorry. Actually, I missed the schema, input schema in this schema file. That's the reason it's not coming. So if you add it sorry for a time, running out of time, I just give highlight so that you can try it yourself. Hey, come on. My Visual Studio is crashed. That's the problem. Okay, if you go to the schema file and you can add in the property. I showed no property. In the property, you can, it's coming. So if you go to uppercase and schema, here you have to add the property. We are newly added, no? This input property. This property you can just define it here. Just select this one and add it like this and change the property name. This is the input property and name is input. That's it. Save. And sorry, for 2 minutes I close it quickly. So add it and run this command. You have to close the composer, okay, to execute this command. Otherwise the merging it won't happen properly. So I close it, the composer, and run this command. Now I open the composer. Yeah, it's coming. Custom demo, open it again, loading, and go to any one of the intent. If you click this one, here you can see our input and result is coming. If you want to pause the user input, you can just use the option here, turn activity, for example, text, and store the store the value into like user dot result. That's it. And if you want to print the data, use the send a response and just type it like this, user dot user dot result. Copy it and paste it. Start the bot. Almost is done. If you are building the first time, now it will take a little bit 2 or 3 seconds time. So access and open web chat. Send message like all lowercase. How are you? So here you see what happened. This dialog get invoked. It's reading our information, what we passed in the input field here. So it's converted to uppercase and assigned into the user.result field. Then finally we display the result value here. That's it, guys. Actually, I plan to cover the package also, but running out of time, I close it. If you want to learn this, how to package and create the NuGet package, you can just watch in my YouTube video. I explain all the things and how to create the other components and custom middleware. Everything is there. If you want interested more learn about, you can come and watch it. Or you have any doubt or you want to any questions, you can just send mail or tag in send message in Twitter. I can try to answer your questions. Thanks for attending this section and thanks for organizing committee also.